Critic Guy, back with the BCG Star Wars Countdown, where I'll be reviewing episodes 1 through 6 of the Star Wars saga, all leading up to the premiere of Star Wars Episode 7 this Friday. And now we finally get to cover the original Star Wars trilogy, starting off with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Now, the very first time that I saw the original Star Wars trilogy back when I was a kid growing up in Guam, with the VHS versions of the films no less, remember those? And those were the original 1977, 1980, and 1983 cuts. Those were the first ones I saw. So, no need to say, oh, you're talking about the special editions, right? Nope, I saw the original. You're welcome. And from my recollection, I remembered really enjoying the films. Not like, oh my goodness, my life has changed forever. These are without a doubt the single greatest things my little mind has ever experienced. Nothing else will compare. Star Wars for life, baby! No, nothing like that. I thought they were really entertaining for what they're worth. I liked the characters, I liked the story. I remembered loving the action. Like, the action scenes were my favorites because I got to see my favorite things. The spaceships, the Death Star, Darth Vader was really cool, and then, of course, the Jedis. In fact, I just love the idea of being a Jedi. I remember I wanted their outfits, and most importantly, I wanted their lightsabers. As a kid, I was like, Mom, you need to get me a lightsaber. You need to get me a lightsaber. And even to this day, I still like the idea of a lightsaber. I would love one. But it has been years since I've last seen them, and my taste in movies has also changed since then. So I was wondering whether or not these films have held up over the years. And after watching them again, all I have to say is, they have held up quite well. I still had a lot of fun watching them. Sure, I notice more of the flaws now, but it still is a really fun movie to watch. First off, the film's story, which introduces us to the world of Star Wars. It's pretty simple. Not saying that's a bad thing, because it's not. Some of the greatest stories ever told have very simple premises to them, as simple stories have universal appeal. Everybody can relate to them. But if there's one credit I can give the story of Star Wars, is that it does a great job at sucking you into its world. I mean, it's creative, it's engaging, it feels larger than life. That's exactly what a sci-fi story needs to feel like. I mean, right from the get-go, when you see that small little spaceship fly on screen, and then you see that giant one following it from behind, you're like, oh my goodness, that thing is massive. What the hell is that thing? It just sucks you in. You want to learn more. You want to see more. And just like your boring ass film class or that one guy won't shut the hell up about Star Wars, I'm also going to talk about how the film story heavily follows Joseph Campbell's hero's journey structure, or the monomyth, which is basically this average character. He's living his normal life, gets called to action, and gets whisked off to a journey. He has his allies, his mentor, he faces a dark force, and through his journey, he grows a little bit and returns back to his normal world. Every single film class I ever took in college always brought up the monomyth, and whenever they wanted to apply the monomyth to a film, they chose Star Wars, and it annoyed the ever-loving crap out of me. I mean, seriously, there's a bajillion movies out there. We couldn't choose another film that follows the monomyth word for word. It just got really repetitive sometimes. But, in a sense, it does make sense. Star Wars is the visual representation of Joseph Campbell's book. It does follow it word for word, and it does it very well. Hell, you don't even need to waste your time going to a film school. Just watch the original Star Wars. It covers everything that a film school could teach you in a shorter amount of time. Boy, I can already see the film students and teachers hatefully leaving comments below, wanting to rip me limb from limb. Well, as a character once said, let the hate flow through you. And speaking of characters, I enjoyed every single one of them in this film. They all stood out, they were all memorable, and they all added to the story. You got Luke Skywalker, a young, naive boy who wants adventure in the great wide somewhere. Props if you got that reference. And after the death of his aunt and uncle, which he took rather well, he embarks on a journey with this wise master, learning the ways of the Force, a little bit about his dad. And you really just see this character grow into the hero that he's born to be. Yeah, sure, he can get whiny and on your nerves from time to time throughout the film. I mean, the first time he's on the Millennium Falcon, I'm just like, kid, shut the hell up and let Han fly this damn thing, okay? You're getting on his nerves, you're getting on my nerves. Stop being a freaking backseat driver. What are you, my mom? But you just end up really liking his character. He's charismatic, he's endearing, he's hopeful, he can be funny from time to time. He's the everyman, the character that we can easily get attached to and invested in on this journey. Next, we got everybody's favorite character, Han Solo. I enjoyed this character as well. Just like Luke, he's very charismatic and is funny from time to time. But what separates him from Luke in this movie is the guy is a freaking badass. He radiates coolness and awesomeness. And regardless of whether or not he's shot first, the character is still awesome. Like, that's one problem I always had with people complaining about, oh my goodness, Han shot first. Why'd you make Greedo shoot first? Let me ask you this. Did the fact that Greedo shot first change your opinion about Han Solo? Do you think less of him now that he shot second than first? If the answer is no, then why are you even complaining about it? It's such a nitpick. I mean, I heard why Jeremy Jahns hated it is because, you know, he's the manly man and he shoots first because he's that kind of guy, and George Lucas did it to redeem him, and honestly, you didn't need to do it, but if the character is still awesome and still beloved, and it doesn't do anything to tarnish the character, why even make it a big deal? The whole Han shot first thing to show how badass the character is so insignificant to the entire saga. I mean, the character is still badass throughout the films. That one scene where he doesn't shoot first doesn't change that at all. Regardless of that little tangent, Han Solo is a freaking awesome character, and he does grow in the film as well. I mean, he starts off as the smuggler who only cares about the money. I want to see the money. Show me the money. That's really all he cares about. He doesn't care about a cause. He doesn't care about like justice and the good of the universe. It's like, can I get paid for this? Okay, then I'll do it. That's all he really cares about. But by the end of the film, he comes around and he's like, you know what? I'm willing to fight with you guys. And that right there not only shows growth in Han's character, but also the connection that he shares with Luke Skywalker. It's a bond that will be prevalent throughout the entire Star Wars trilogy. Obi-Wan Kenobi, wise Jedi Master, who teaches Luke the ways of the Force. Guy's freaking awesome. Alec Guinness is one of the greatest actors of all time. He does an excellent job at portraying the wise old sage that is Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi. And we've already seen Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan being a badass, and it's just good to see the wiser side of Obi-Wan here in the original trilogy.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Seriously, only a character as wise and badass as Obi-Wan can deliver a line like that. But of course we can't talk about the characters of Star Wars without bringing up the big baddie of the saga, Darth Vader. When I first saw this character as a kid, I was terrified of him. I mean, his presence alone spoke bad news for anybody who was getting in his way. The black suit, the booming voice done excellently by James Earl Jones, the red lightsaber, the fact that he could force choke a fool from a distance. Like that scene in the Death Star where that Imperial general or soldier, I have no idea what he is talking back to Vader in such a pompous way. And I'm like, oh, look at the pants on this guy. I loved what CinemaSins said about this character. Right on the money, Kevin Smith. But like, he's just talking back to Vader just like, don't try to scare us with your sorcerer's rays, Vader. And you just see Vader, he's just like, excuse me? Is he talking to me? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I find your lack of faith disturbing, General. Ooh, chills. At that point, man, just shut the hell up. Never speak in Vader's presence again unless you want to suffocate to death. Not only is this character menacing as hell, but he has a sort of confidence or bravado to him where he's just not scared of anything. Nothing really phases him. Even when the rebels find out about their weak point, he's just like, no, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Give me my ship, okay. That right there is just more evidence as to why Darth Vader is one of the greatest movie villains of all time. And he's just getting started. You didn't even see Empire Strikes Back yet. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the visual effects are phenomenal in this film. They're solid and they've held up quite well over the years. I mean, some of these scenes look freaking awesome, but some of them do look a bit dated. But for their time, they were really incredible. They were on the money. But you wanna know the one thing in this film that's remained timeless? You've guessed it, the score. The score is still phenomenal. It's still great. It still gives me chills every time I hear it. Like the first time you hear the oh my goodness, John Williams, please just score my life, please. Like you are literally a god among gods when it comes to composing music. There's just no equal. The guy's amazing. Name some of the most iconic film scores and I bet my left foot that a majority of them were done by John Williams. And the last great thing about this film was its climax. It is still riveting to this very day. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Star Wars fan. I found a lot of enjoyment in the final climax, even though I knew how it was going to end. It doesn't change the fact that I found it thrilling throughout, just action freaking packed. I've addressed all the great things about the film and how much I had fun with it, but I'm not gonna sit here and ignore the fact that this film does have a few faults. The biggest issue I found with this film, surprisingly, wasn't the acting, it was the editing. It's choppy as hell. And I'm not just talking about the reverse job they did on that sand person holding up their fighting stick. There are other scenes that I felt like were really choppy as well. Like the first time that they're escaping the Death Star and they're using those blasters on the Millennium Falcon, probably the choppiest action scene in the entire film. And I just didn't know what I was looking at and who was shooting who and what was going on. I can acknowledge the fact that the weak and lazy editing could be attributed to the times they lived in or to the really low budget that the film had. I mean, it's common knowledge to anybody who knows about Star Wars that the first Star Wars film went through tremendous production issues. I mean, a lot of people thought the film was gonna fall flat on its face, and maybe one of the victims of that was the editing. But it still really bothered me. As an amateur editor myself, it just was something that just really was cringeworthy to me. And the fact that this film is praised as a technical achievement is just kind of laughable now, considering you look at the editing, it's like, that's not held up well. Next is the acting. Now, more people nowadays are willing to admit that the acting in the first Star Wars movie wasn't all that good. If you were to say that 20 years ago, people would be like, how dare you disrespect this masterpiece of a film, bite your tongue, the acting was great. But more and more people are rewatching the film and realizing, yeah, some of the acting is over the top and hokey and unbelievable and stoic. Yeah, I see where you're coming from now. But that's not to say that there isn't any good performances in this film. Again, Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi was a perfect choice. He's a masterful actor and he played a masterful Jedi. Excellent. Harrison Ford as Han Solo. I could really tell that this guy was really having fun with the role. He embraced it fully. And James Earl Jones' voice acting is excellent. Spot on delivery by him. But when seeing Mark Hamill's performance again in this film, it makes you kind of scratch your head wondering how the hell did this kid get this role? Now granted, he does have the look of the everyman. He has that innocent farm boy look to him, so look-wise, he fits the bill. But acting, you're like, has this kid ever acted in his life? I mean, he's over the top, he delivers lines really, really poorly. He can be stoic from time to time. He's not really good at emoting. I mean, there's a scene, he sees the skeletons of his aunt and uncle, and all he's doing is, seriously, Luke? You are literally looking at the remains of your uncle and auntie, the people that have been with you for all your life, and all you can do is, oh God, that sucks. I mean, not even a tear, not even a no, not even falling on your knees. It's literally him just standing there looking at his dead aunt and uncle. And no real reaction to it. I never grasped the impact of their deaths. It felt like it didn't even matter to Luke. Or that famous line,
take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up for dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
careful Mark, your Hayden Christensen is showing. Princess Leia, played by Carrie Fisher. Yeah, she still remains my least favorite character in the entire series. I just never really cared about this character. She always bored me. She does stuff in the films, but I feel like she doesn't do much in the film. And Carrie Fisher's performance, it's not bad, it's just not convincing. I don't feel like this is a strong character at all, and she bored me. And the last issue I had with this film that really bothered me both back then and now were all of the conveniences scattered throughout the story. The biggest one that made me just facepalm was the fact that you had the Millennium Falcon, it's in the Death Star, you know, and they go in there and they're like, there's no signs of life anywhere. Are you shitting me? Then how the hell was that thing flying in space? There had to be somebody piloting something, right? And the fact that the Galactic Empire, the ones that are ruling this galaxy, can't sense life in their secret weapon known as the Death Star. Are you shitting me right now? That either shows the incompetency of the Galactic Empire or how great of a smuggler Han really is. Either way, it's just convenient as shit. So overall, besides its few problems, I still really enjoyed Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Do I think that it's an epic masterpiece like everybody else? No, but I also don't think that it's like a terrible film either. It's a really, really fun, enjoyable film that introduced us to the great world of Star Wars. And that's why I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think that it is definitely worth watching. But as always, what did you guys think of this film? Did you love it to death? Do you think it's one of the greatest films of all time, an epic masterpiece? Or do you find it way too overrated? You don't understand the hype, you find it boring and contrived? And let me know, what is the coolest battle in any of the Star Wars films? Comment below and let me know. Stay tuned, more 12 Days of Anime videos, more Star Wars reviews, and hopefully this Friday you will be getting my Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens review. Can't wait to see it, I'm excited. So until then guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. I'm Tony Wild II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace YouTube.